My name is Anita Benefor, and I'm one of the placement students for a Safer Space. My presentation today is going to be on texturism. What is texturism? It is a preference for hair with smoother/looser texture and the discrimination against people with kinkier, coarser hair within the same race. When it comes to curls, looser curls are idealized and fetishized for its proximity to Eurocentric standards of beauty or good hair. Be it through hair ads, songs, poems, and in everyday interactions, looser, smoother, longer curls are favored, praised, and upheld as a standard of what we consider beautiful hair. Like colorism and featureism, texturism most often perpetuated against us by our own society. This is an example of what good hair looks like according to Eurocentric beauty standards as far as texturism is concerned. And this is an example of quote unquote bad hair, as it isn't as sought after or preferred. The demonization of natural Afro kinky hair. We not only normalize these preferences at its worst, but these preferences are also institutionalized in whiteness and anti-blackness. In the case of African Americans, laws and policies in America prohibit natural hair and hairstyles worn by Black people, such as afros, locks, and braids, in schools and in workspaces. This makes texturism a particularly problematic issue. Texturism is the idea that only loose or well-defined curls deserve favoring or praise, and it manifests in the smallest ways within the natural hair community. Charging women with 4C hair above prices for hairstyles, requiring women to show up to appointments with their hair already straightened, making comments about how tough and difficult taking care of 4C hair is. On Twitter, women are calling out various issues within the natural hair community, from speaking up about hairstylists who willingly promote the idea that 4C hair should be charged more money, to emphasizing the fact that people only like 4C hair when it's drenched in product or stretched out. Twitter user Slimerella tweeted, with over 15,000 retweets, "If you can't do 4C hair, you can't do hair. If your client has to come wash, conditioned, dried, ends clipped, flat ironed for you to be able to maintain the hair that you don't even do. If your client has to have a perm, you can't do hair." Natural hair chart system is a hair hierarchy system. 1A equals good hair, 4C equals deviant. While women are calling out hairstylists, some are also re-examining the hair chart system that many of us use to try to figure out what our hair type is. The system, which was created by Oprah Winfrey's personal hairstylist, Andre Walker, in the 1990s, has been criticized for multiple reasons. Some say it doesn't capture every hair type, or that their hair contains more than one type. It also doesn't consider dryness, porosity, differences in length, or even heat damage. To many, the biggest flaw of this chart is that it creates a hierarchy. It begins with straight hair as number one, and everything else as a deviation, 4C being the most defiant. Natural or relaxed. It doesn't help that Walker was once quoted in a magazine saying, "I always recommend embracing your natural hair texture. Kinky hair can have limited style options. That is the only hair type that I suggest altering with professional relaxing." Good hair versus bad hair. Texturism can also manifest in how the media portrays hair. This can look like a magazine praising Northwest, who has loose curls, for inspiring a generation of girls to wear their natural hair, while Blue Ivy Carter, who has tighter curls, was and is still bashed on the internet for doing the same thing. While not always gendered, women are often disproportionately victimized by texturism. For darker-toned women, having good hair becomes more critical in building a positive self-image since colorism is already at play. 4C love. Hairstylists that love working with 4C hair have taken notice. Dre, a Brooklyn-based hairstylist, said she made it her mission to create a safe space for women with highly textured hair. She doesn't use the hair type system created by Walker. Instead, she simply calls hair by what it looks like. There are so many different stories you hear connected to people's trauma with their hair, and many of them start young, she explains. That's one of the biggest things that I've realized through this work, is the early experiences that you have with your hair really shape your ideas about textured hair. 4C love. There's a big misconception about the whole scale. It just rubbed me the wrong way, she continues. It can be very exclusive for people who don't fit anywhere within it or are just confused about it. I classify hair by being straight, wavy, curly, or kinky. Self-love is the best love. Every community and society needs to acknowledge and address these issues to ensure we don't discriminate against ourselves based on problematic biases. Of course, light skin, loose curls, thinner lips, and small noses are beautiful, but so are tighter curls, wider noses, prominent lips, and darker skin. The saddest thing about featureism and texturism is that it makes children of certain ethnicities believe they are somehow ugly and unattractive, and in return, it feeds an entire industry that profits from individuals changing their natural features to fit unfair beauty standards. Representation matters.